Good evening, Mayor and council members. First of all, I want to thank you for your service. Thank you for all you do for our city. And my name is Tom Francis, and I'm representing Simply Ojai this evening. Simply Ojai is a nonprofit organization that works to protect the environment and keep Ojai, Ojai. I also want to clarify one point, which is that in Ms. Bergquist, when she filed the appeal, she wrote on there that she reserved the right, and that Simply Ojai reserves the right to add things to the record that was on the appeal form. And so it was, I think it was made clear that that there was going to be more information coming.
Can we please have decorum in the audience? Thank you.
Simply Ojai wants the hotel to reopen as soon as possible. That is our intent. But we also think that there's a number of ways that the project can be improved in a very short period of time if the council agrees to do so. Sadly, we concluded we must appeal the Planning Commission's decision to approve the hotel project due to substantial flaws in the approval process, as well as the proposed expansion of use and parking plan, which, if approved, will negatively impact our town and the environment. We believe that the absence of an environmental impact report on the project that would have addressed water supply constraints and other concerns has contributed to the project's impacts, shortfalls, and delays. Our observation is that the hotel owners got carried away with their plan and are asking to do things that just don't make sense considering the location and spatial limitations of this historic site and the acute water supply uncertainty that is facing Ojai, or that Ojai is facing. Rather than simply renovate and reopen the hotel, the owners propose to increase the intensity of use on the site, externalize a substantial portion of their parking liabilities to off-site locations that lack assurance of permanence, and eliminate all self-parking opportunities from the hotel site that have been part of the hotel operation for decades. I do want to point out that this hotel, I just want to make it clear and make sure everyone understands that throughout the past decades, there has been ample self-parking on the hotel-controlled property, and that this is a really big change to go only valet. And so, if allowed, these proposed operational changes will unnecessarily create multiple ongoing problems for our town, city staff, and the hotel owners. In an effort to work together to find a way forward, we could all agree on, two of the hotel owners and Simply Ojai representatives recently invested many hours over a period of 10 days into negotiations in hope of coming forward to the council with a proposed settlement. Though we succeeded in learning that we had much in common regarding the environment and protecting endangered species, we found potential common ground on reduction of intensity of use, we could not find our way to substantive agreement on a parking plan for the project. We thank Eric Good and Jeremy McBride for investing considerable time into that effort. There's an opportunity to make this hotel renovation much better for the community and the environment, while also ensuring financial success for the hotel owners. Rather than green light the proposed project by affirming the decision of the Planning Commission, we encourage the council to instead give this project a yellow light, as there are changes that can be made to the proposed plan and the related resolution adopted by the Planning Commission in a timely manner that would make the hotel the best it can be. Our understanding is that this can happen should a majority of the council vote to conditionally affirm, in part, the planning conditions approval. Therefore, we respectfully request that the council affirm, in part, the commission's approval while also allowing time to consider improvements to some or all of the 5 following topics of concern. So I want to emphasize some or all. So we're intentionally offering you guys an a la carte menu. You guys can choose to address one or more of these issues, or all of them, or anything you want to do. They're not being put forward as a whole, okay? So these topics could be negotiating between city staff, project applicants, and appellants, or city staff and project applicants, with the goal being that a final decision on the renovation plan be made at the May 24th City Council meeting. Suggested project improvement number 1. Explore options to retain some of the 22 on-site hotel self-parking spaces that are proposed to be eliminated, or other self-parking solutions, rather than adopt the presently proposed plan that, with the exception of employee parking, makes all parking on hotel-controlled properties valet only. All valet and no self-parking is not Ojai. It's just not. And some of the people that live in Ojai that want to go and eat lunch or have dinner or have a drink are not going to want to go through the the grandiose ceremonial process of valet parking their car. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna park on the street. That's the way it's gonna happen, okay? And that's not necessarily the end of the world, but we think it's a better approach to parking to have it balanced between self-parking and valet. 2, explore options to decrease the number of people allowed in the event center, adjacent outdoor pool, patio area, restaurant, and bar. Suggested improvement number 3, explore options to irrigate landscaping with gray water from hotel operations and capture of stormwater runoff, reducing dependency on dwindling Ojai water reserves. 4, discuss and potentially modify resolution language to more accurately reflect the City of Ojai's ability to attest to availability of adequate water to serve the project. So I noticed that the attorney representing the applicant made an assertion that there's a pipe hooked up to the hotel and that it's been hooked up for 100 years, so there's no problem with the water hookup. That's not what we're asserting, and it's ridiculous for him to assert that. We're asserting that we're in the middle of climate-driven aridification and that we've got a problem with our water supply and that the city should strongly consider, when they're approving projects, to be more honest about what's going on with our water and not just say everything's good. 5, explore options to require that all hotel operations be free of climate-changing natural gas or other fossil energy. Here's some information about uncertainty of water supply. In a June 15, 2021 letter from Leslie Hess to the Ojai Planning Commission regarding Ojai's 2021 to 2029 housing element, as well as an April 6, 2022 letter from myself to the Ojai Planning Commission regarding this hotel renovation and expansion plan, concerns were expressed about the City of Ojai's ability to continue meeting the needs of existing water users and/or demands caused by newly approved uses or increases of intensity of use. To date, neither the Ojai Planning Commission or the Ojai City Council have provided a meaningful response or action plan regarding these concerns. According to a June 23, 2021 Casitas Municipal Water District study, if present trends continue, before long we will reach stage 5 drought, where outdoor irrigation is severely limited, if not curtailed. This is a copy of the study. You can see the projection that it's going to go down, down, down if we don't get rain. We're going to get to stage 5, and there is no stage 6, right? So Ojai is experiencing extended drought and aridification. Extended drought has occurred many times throughout geological time. This is normal. What is not normal is the compounding factor of climate-driven aridification. Unlike extended drought, aridification is permanent. Aridification in the western United States is directly attributable to climate change and the resulting rise in global average temperatures. In fact, according to data from the National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, Ventura County has experienced a temperature increase of 2.6 degrees Celsius, 4.75 degrees Fahrenheit, in total warming in the period from 1895 to 2021, which is a greater increase than any other county in the contiguous United States. We've got actually the highest in the country. Considering the fact that Lake Casitas is an open reservoir that provides the Ojai Valley with a large portion of our water reserves, and that rising temperatures increase evaporation rates, that all groundwater basins in the valley and the lake rely solely on rain and snowfall to be replenished, and that present projections are that the extended drought we're experiencing will continue, we are at a loss as to how the Planning Commission adopted Resolution 2205, which states, quote, "There are adequate provisions for public access, water, sanitation, and public utilities and services to ensure that the proposed use would not be detrimental to public health and safety. Subject site is served by public utilities. In the interest of avoiding potential legal and ecological liability and resulting financial losses for the city, we respectfully request that the City Council do what is legally required to amend said resolution language so that it better reflects current and projected water supply circumstances and is truthful about the fact that the city's water purveyor has provided information to the public that we may soon hit stage 5 drought, and therefore applicant's project may not be able to be adequately served with sufficient water. To be clear, we're not wanting to stop the project, okay? We want the project to go forward, but we want the city to be honest. And this resolution is not honest. It lacks information that's important for applicants or anyone else to consider, members of the public to consider about what's really going on with our water. It's time to start talking about it. Considering Ojai's present dire water supply and reserve circumstances, we assert that Ojai's Planning Commission and City Council need to make decisions that work with, rather than against, the laws of geophysics. Making planning or policy decisions absent meaningful study and consideration of geophysical limitations on our water supply is living in denial and harms the water rights and water security of everyone in the Ventura watershed. In addition, though we applaud applicants' commitment to low-flow plumbing fixtures and drought-tolerant landscaping, unless we somehow overlooked it in our review of project staff reports, what is glaringly absent from the plan for this project is a forward-thinking irrigation system that captures and reuses gray water and stormwater runoff from hotel operations for irrigation and other purposes, thereby dramatically reducing reliance on scarce City of Ojai water reserves. Also, from a policy perspective, we recommend that rather than allocate any additional water derived from conservation, a blessing of wetter weather, more sensible agriculture, or other sources, we don't want it to go to new demands such as development, increases of intensity of use, etc., and that Ojai instead allocates said water to building our water reserves. So we're running low on water, and we think it's time to stop approving growth that increases demand. And if a project comes forward and they find ways to save water, good for them, but let's apply it to our reserves, not expanding the use on the site. I'm happy to learn that project proponents responded to our assertion that landscape should not be irrigated with potable water, and at 3 o'clock today, submitted into the record some sort of water plan. This plan was dated April 5th. Not sure why it had to wait till today, as opposed to being submitted to the Planning Commission. Therefore, we ask Council to approve the project in part and direct staff to perform further review of parking, intensity of use, the city's ability to attest to adequate and stable water supply to serve the project, refraining from use of fossil energy such as natural gas, and a landscape irrigation plan that relies solely on green water. This thing is really close. Let's give staff and project applicants time to get it right. Thank you for your consideration of these project improvements.
Thank you.